Hello, folks. We're going to be live here. We're live now. Welcome to the Night Sky Imaging channel. I'm Ed Overstreet, and tonight I'm imaging two deep space targets that are pretty popular. And I actually changed the targets kind of at the last minute, and I did it for show more than anything. The two original targets that I had picked are pretty faint when you see the data coming in, and I thought that would be kind of disappointing if you were watching this a deep space imaging session for the first time and saw data coming in and you really couldn't make it out. So I thought, since I'm going live, I'm going to image two pretty brilliant regions of the sky in terms of gas and nebulosity. So let's just head over there right now, and let me share my screen. And wow, that's a bright I'm gonna have to dim down that camera. Tell you what, we're just going to change cameras, and there you go. It won't be so overexposed. All right, we are first. I'm going to take you outside. These are the two scopes that I'm using, and they look like they're aimed at the same target. They are pretty close. In fact, if we bring up the planetarium software and move this around, you'll see that the elephant trunk, which is one of our targets, and the North American Nebula, which is up here, they're pretty close together, and they're on the they've already gone through a meridian flip. I do have a few images already. I started imaging earlier, and so everything is up and running. And let's head over and take a look at the data that's coming in. And let me put this away. This is the North American Nebula. I'll stretch it a little more, and you can see how rich the sky is with these nebulosity regions, and it's everybody's favorite. This is a real wide field view of the North American Nebula. It almost takes all of it in. The Pelican Nebula is up here. It's out of view, but another image was just downloaded, and we'll stretch that one. And so far I've taken 10 images that are 5 minutes long each. So my plan are to take 25 images in hydrogen alpha, and then the filter wheel will spin to the oxygen filter, and I'll take 20 of those, also 5 minute, and then it'll spin to the sulfur 2 band, and I'll take another 25 minute images. And it's enough to make an image, but tomorrow night I have some pretty clear skies. So after I get back from the Dorman Upper State Championship volleyball game, I'll start imaging again, and I ought to be able to get two times this, so 50 HA and 40 O3 and 40 S2. So it's about 10 hours. It'll be about 10 hours, and because this is such a bright area of the sky, that's a gracious plenty to make a good image. I'll also drizzle because I'm really undersampled, and when I drizzle, I'll add to the resolution of this image, so it'll even reveal more detail than you're actually seeing now. So that's telescope number one. That was the one that was closest to us. And this is the second telescope, and this is the elephant trunk. And I'm going to stretch that a little more, and you can kind of see how the trunk bends down. This is not as brilliant in revealing the gases that are there, but this is a rich area in nebulosity as well. Here we have an airplane coming through the image. I have taken, so far, I've taken 10 of these images, and they're also HA03 and S2, and I'm taking 5-minute images as well for each of those bandwidths. I hope to get 30 images in each, and then I'll go through the same cycle tomorrow night, and I'll have more data with this. I'll also drizzle in the processing of these images, which will add twice the resolution that you're seeing now, which is pretty cool. I am guiding using a program called PhD2, and I didn't realize how poor the guiding is, but we're at 1.52, and I'm surprised that I've got decent looking stars. I really haven't checked guiding tonight. I just assumed it was doing well. Let me head over here and see what my half flux radius is. 2.05. It's okay. It should be better. Let's check the guiding in the other kit and bring up PhD2, and that's not good either. Goodness, this is at 2.44, and the RA looks great. I mean, the deck looks great. That's the red line, but the RA is all over the place. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just stop altogether the guiding, and I'm going to restart it. I'm going to look for another star, and let's try. I wonder if this is. I know I need a new dark library. Now let's stop it again, and let's see if we can't get rid of this. And let's clear out this pitiful guiding, and let's no, it's starting off equally bad. I'm looking at the wow. I'm not sure what's happening here. Let's go back to the other. To be frank, I've taken so many images of these two targets. I'm really not that interested in. I'm not even really excited about processing it, but I am. The half flux on this is now 161, so that's a big improvement, but the guiding still isn't that good. We're at 160. Let's clear this out, and let's start. Let's pick a new start again. Let's raise this up to 3.5 seconds. I ran the guiding assistant earlier tonight, so if you're familiar with the guiding assistant, that makes recommendations on and for the hysteresis, minimum move, and but wow, it's gone crazy from right out of the box. So I'm going to write it off as scene conditions because it does look like we're chasing scene conditions, and scene is rated tonight as being very bad, and it is. So I use a software program. Let's find it up here, and I'll show you well, it's in the green right now. We're going into this. It's not too bad. It's been worse, but it's rated a 3 out of 5 and a 4 out of 5. Earlier today it was rated to be a 1 and a 2 out of 5. So for some reason we do have better scene. So the scene is rated pretty high for the problems I'm having, so it may be more gracious. We're back at 2. I like to be around 50, 0.50, 0.60, and we're at 0.295. So or 2.95, so pretty bad. So guiding is ridiculous, and I'm going to continue to do some live imaging, and then in a few minutes I'm going to head outside when I sign off here, and I want to see if I'm running into any cable issues. But I'm doing 2 telescopes, and to have both of them behave just tells me it is scene related. If one was acting up, I would think maybe I have some cables that are hanging just right. It's not windy at all, unless it's just picked up, so it's not wind. Both telescopes are balanced. The last time I imaged a few days ago, scene was in the 0.30, 0.50 range, so nothing's really changed. The kits haven't moved, so it's just kind of hard to figure it out, and I think it's just sky conditions right now. Now, I don't think it has anything to do with it, but we're being impacted by the magnetics of the coronal mass ejection, and I guess in some sort of way, I just don't know enough about the physics of that to know if that could have an effect on the workings of a telescope. I don't think so. One of the reasons why I think it's scene related is that my declination is guiding fine. That's the red line. It's flatlining, and it's my RA that's going back and forth. It's making a correction, then it's heading in one direction, then makes a correction, it's heading back. So that's typically scene related, and it's just it's like driving off the road one way, and then it's making a correction, driving off the road the other way, and it's zigzagging as it goes down the middle of the highway. And both kits are doing the same thing. So when you head back over here, now this is improved some, not a lot, but I changed the exposure to 3.5. Let's go up to 4, and let's clear. We were at 1.3, and let's see if that okay, this is what I'm used to seeing, 0.37, 0.34. Let me head back over there and change my exposures on the other two, and this is more like it. Okay. Wow, that's ugly. Let's go to 4, maybe up to 5 seconds, and let's try there. Golly, 3.27. That's terrible. Now, I did have to change the laptop that I use for this particular telescope because at the last minute I had a Windows file that somehow got corrupted and it wouldn't allow me to start my mount. I reinstalled some software, but it's so frustrating. I just brought it in and I swapped it with another laptop, but that shouldn't be the problem. Okay, we're imaging at 4 seconds, and at least it's not 3 arc seconds. It's 1.16. So it's better. And it could be we were going through a phase of terrible seeing, and that can happen. It comes and goes. And when I talk about seeing conditions, here we go again. When I talk about seeing conditions, I'm talking about the atmosphere between the telescope and the target. And when it's when there's a lot of thermal activity, then you get an unstable atmosphere, and it just creates havoc sometimes when, particularly when you're imaging planets. You can get by with some pretty bad seeing conditions when you're imaging deep space objects, but I'll need a better RMS value than 3.09, or my stars will look like little footballs, and or worse. So I may not be keeping this data at all. That's crazy. I wonder, I'm going to look at something. I was creating a new PEC curve, and let me stop doing that. I'm going to call this off. I'm just going to go back and because it's trying to make corrections to the mount based on the mount's inherent backlash and guiding accuracy, and when you create a periodic error curve, then it kind of models the problems in your mechanics, and it guides those errors out. But in this case, I think it's causing more of a problem than anything else. I don't know. Okay, well, let's go back and see what our images are looking like. That's really the, let's kind of zoom in a little bit. Yeah, can you see how the stars look like footballs? They're kind of oblong. That's the effect of really a poor guiding behavior. So these images I can't keep. Yeah, it's good to have a live session when things aren't working. It gives you, it happens, and although it looks like you're getting some decent data, you can see the effects of the nebula. All in all, the stars are pitiful, and it's not worth fooling with processing it. It's fun capturing it, but it's not worth it to try to create a good image. It's kind of hard to work with bad data. But at any rate, let's go back over and see if the guiding in the other one is okay. It's in the 6 range. It's on the high side of what this usually does, between 30 and 50 or so. If it's under 1.0, I won't see problems with my stars. But once it gets above 1, when I'm taking long exposures, 5 minutes is a long exposure for me. But when I start taking 5-minute exposures, then it's a problem. And I'll show you the difference. These stars, let me fit this to the screen, and we zoom up a little bit. These stars are more tight and round, and they look like they're supposed to look. and over here with this other animal, that's just not the case. Okay, well, this is you're looking live at data streaming in from the North American Nebula, and I'll tell you where it gets its name. You're kind of looking at North America upside down. If you could flip this, and this would be Texas over here, and this would be the Florida part, then and this is the Gulf of Mexico, and this would be the Atlantic, and then going over to the western part of the United States, that's it's just kind of upside down, but that's the origin of the name North American Nebula, or NGC 7000. We're at 13 images, and I'm going to guess all 13 are probably not going to be used. Let's go back to guiding. Yeah, we're up to 4. That's crazy bad. So, and I'm clueless. I am interested in getting the other laptop. I'm gonna have to probably reinstall Windows 10 because it's a Windows file that's gotten corrupted. But I am curious to see if that laptop, when paired with my first telescope, which is the designated laptop for that telescope, if it behaves better. I don't know why it would, but I am curious. And now even DEC is 0.63, so it's even kind of high declination, but it's a lot better than RA, right ascension. Look here, that's an 8 arcsecond error. Wow. My goodness, my goodness. Okay, well, folks, we'll say good night to you. If you're watching this live, it's Halloween, and I hope you have some candy left that you can munch off while you're watching the Braves Houston Astros game. I have it sitting on over here, so out of the corner of my eye, I'm kind of keeping an eye on my Braves. And if you're watching this on a replay, because it will be on the YouTube channel until YouTube cuts me off, then just have a great day and say something good to somebody. You'll be absolutely tickled to death if you do. Make you feel better, and it'll make their day too. So with that being said, I'll say good night to everybody. Have a good one. Clear skies.